Hi, welcome to SBR Videos. I'm Peter Loshak. It's Monday, February 2nd. This is the daily NBA show that we've been doing with Joe Duffy from OffshoreInsiders.com. I'm kind of still clawing around 7-6 against the spread. Joe Duffy, though, 8-4 against the spread so far in this show. Joe Duffy, awesome record. Thanks for being back with us.
Thank you, Peter.
Well, your picks have been winning. Your advice has been great. So give a very well-earned plug for OffshoreInsiders.com. Tell us what that site's all about and emphasize your record with your 4-pay picks at your site.
85-59, 59% in college and pro basketball. We got a great special going today to take you through the NBA Finals. We also get a NBA side and a college basketball side for Monday at OffshoreInsiders.com.
Today, Monday card, we have 8 games, and this is one of those cards where I'm like looking it over, and I feel like I'm seeing a lot of sides that I'm liking, and I'm thinking like maybe I'm just, not seeing things as clearly as I do when I think I have no edges. But I'm seeing a lot of things I think I'm liking. We'll see what you have to say about it. My first thought, maybe Charlotte, right? Right now, -7 or 7.5. So I'm thinking about Charlotte plus 7.5. John Wall is banged up for Washington. Washington has lost 6 games in a row against the spread. And the Hornets are kind of playing well. Kemba Walker is out, but even with him out, they've still covered their last 2 games. Charlotte is kind of scrapping and pulling and fighting. Washington, a little bit banged up, a little bit lethargic, and they're a big home favorite here. I'm thinking Charlotte plus 7.5 is a side with value. What do you think, Joe?
But be careful of the Kemba Walker thing. Remember, one of our golden rules is teams will rally around adversity, such as an injury to a key player, short term, but there's a point of diminishing return. You are correct. They are 3-0 against the spread without him actually going under all 3, but according to our theory, again, it's pretty much the point of diminishing return, usually about the 3rd game without him. He does average 18.8 points per game, 5.2 assists. We like to use that Hollinger Player Index at ESPN. They have him rated as the 15th best point guard in the NBA. Obviously not spectacular, but he's certainly quite valuable, and there are many people who believe the point guard is the most important position from a handicapping standpoint. I know a few people who especially think that in college basketball, but NBA as well. So that would make me a little bit nervous. And as you said, because John Wall is questionable, he's averaging 17.4 points per game and 4.5 rebounds. It makes me a little nervous. I'd probably stay away from it myself.
Okay, right. But like I said, it's not just a play on Charlotte. In fact, it's more of a fade of Washington and taking the line into consideration. I mean, the Wizards have lost 6 in a row against spread, and here they are a 7.5-point favorite.
Yeah, no, if you ask me to make a play, I would probably agree with you. But as far as am I going to stick my neck out on the line for that game, probably not.
All right, well, I'll take it. I'll take Charlotte plus 7.5. And then also, another pick I think I'm liking is the under in Minnesota, Dallas. Let's see. The total right now is 206.5, and Dallas has actually turned into a big under trender. They're a 1-7-1 over/under over their last 9 games, and even Minnesota, even though they're kind of a high-scoring team in general, they're 3-5 over/under in their last 8 games. Their last game against Dallas was very low-scoring. I'm liking the under. What do you think, Joe?
And both of these teams will be playing 3 games in 4 days. A popular theory is that when you have tired legs, they're more likely to slow down the pace, and that's generally good conditions for the under. And Chandler Parsons, he is probable for the Mavericks, but will he be 100%? He is the 12th best small forward, according to the Hollinger rating, so he's a key player. Like I said, I do expect him to play, but whether or not he's going to be 100%, and especially on a type of night where maybe both teams might want to slow it down, it's not an official free pick, but I would tend to agree with you there.
All right, well, I'll definitely go with the under. 206.5 Minnesota, Dallas. Another one I was thinking about was the under in Milwaukee, Toronto. Right now it's 203 or 203.5, and Milwaukee, of course, was an enormously strong under trender for quite a long time, although they have been a slight over trender recently. I think they've gone over in 2 of their last 3 games. They've started to be higher scoring, but still, they have a history this year of strong under trending, and Toronto as well. They've also been a high-scoring team recently, but a little bit before that, they were, slowing it down a little bit, playing stronger defense. And I'm thinking that I think the last time these 2 teams met, they went to 180 right here. Milwaukee 4. They've gone over in 4 of their last 6 games. But and Toronto, has a big offense. They've gone over in 5 straight games. I'm still thinking this might be a good under candidate here, though. A little bit of a reversal of recent form to under 203.5. What do you think, Joe?
Well, we're actually going to go head-to-head here. Toronto is going over 5 straight, but more importantly, 4 of them were by 12 or more. They're now the number 2 over team in the NBA. And as you said, Milwaukee, they're starting to reverse that trend. They were an under team, but they've gone over 4 of their last 6. Now, again, that's not necessarily anything completely overwhelming, but 3 of those have gone over by 11 or more. So let's go head to head. Let's cause some controversy here. Let's let the sparks fly. I'm going to go with the over as a free pick.
Actually, let's not. Let's not. I'm going to pull my pick. It was one that I was thinking about. I still think that I like it, but like you say, I don't know if it's quite strong enough to make it an official recommendation. And yeah, like you said, the recent trends for these 2 teams have both been over. So I'm pulling it. We're not going head to head, Joe Duffy. Sorry.
You said you're going to pull your what?
I'm going to pull my pick.
Oh, okay. All right. I got you. Never mind.
Nice one there, Joe. All right. So far, I've got 2. Joe's got 1 that he's given us. And then another one I'm thinking about. It's an interesting situation here on a Monday night. Brooklyn is a 9-point home underdog to the Clippers. And, Brooklyn, obviously, the Nets in general suck, but they are, not a bad bet against the spread recently. 4-3 against the spread over their last 7. Clips a strong team, but they're just 3-6 against the spread over their last 9. And just looking at the spot in the schedule, the Clips might be a little bit more worn down than Brooklyn for this one. It's a big home underdog spread. I'm thinking maybe Brooklyn +9 might be a play. What do you think, Joe?
Yeah, when you do have, you're talking about, obviously the Clippers are a superior team, but they're from the West Coast. It's a good spot to overlook a team or just to have, that wanting to simply survive. They are playing 3 games in 4 days. Now, Joe Johnson is questionable for Brooklyn, so I think he will probably play. He's a key player. He averages 15.8 points per game. That being said, the Nets are 2-1 without him against the spread, going under 2 of 3. But again, that would get back to our point of diminishing return. So although it's neither a premium pick or a free pick, I do kind of like your logic there.
All right, I guess I'll pass on it. I got burned on that Miami pick. I took them +8.5. They were up by like 8 at halftime. Wound up getting absolutely blown out. I could see the same situation unfolding here. All right, well, so far, I've given 2 picks, Charlotte +7.5 and under 206.5 in Minnesota, Dallas, and Joe Duffy likes over 203 in Milwaukee, Toronto. Are you just going to give that 1 pick, Joe, or is there anything else you want to give for us today?
No, I'm also going to continue to ride the Philadelphia under, Philadelphia and Cleveland under. Both teams are playing the 3 games in 4 days. Now, remember, Tony Roten, we talked about, he's one of the under-radar players. The 76ers, of course, they're minus him, and they've been very much an under team, especially without him. They've gone under by 6.8 points per game this year, under 32-16, but that includes 14-2. They've gone under their last 16. Cleveland's gone under at an 18-6 rate, but their last 4 for Cleveland have gone under by a 12.12 points per game average. And that's what we found, the old, again, we used to call it margin of cover. Old habits are hard to break. I guess now the rest of the industry that was 20-something years behind me, they call it the sweat barometer. I guess it applies there too. We not only look at, when we say a team is under trending or over trending, we look not just simply at the number of over and unders, but how much they are either going over or under by, because if a team is just going under, by a half a point each game, I would say that's as much luck as anything. But both of these teams seem to be pretty strong under teams. And with Roten, one of the few offensive weapons out for Philadelphia, they're pretty much, relying on their defense.
Right now, 193 is the market-wide numbers. That's Joe's second pick, under 193 in Philly, Cleveland to go along with over 203 in Milwaukee, Toronto. And I guess that'll be it for today. Other things I was saying, it's interesting, the Atlanta-New Orleans matchup is kind of interesting, right? The Hawks have now, they lost 3 out of the last 4 against the spread, and here they're a small favorite. Now, in the middle of their awesome ATS run, being a small road favorite against a decent team might have been a great position to bet on Atlanta, but maybe things are turning now, and I think that New Orleans is supposed to get Davis back. I kind of liked it when it was 4 or 4.5. Now it's going down to 3.5. But what's your take on this one? The Pelicans 15-7 against the spread at home, but Atlanta 18-4 against the spread on the road. Pelicans, though, 5-1 against spread over their last 6. What's your take on that game? Interesting matchup.
Yeah, and I believe that Atlanta's actually 16-1 their last 17 ATS on the road. But as you said, they're starting to show signs. We're not ready to quite label them one of our dichotomous straight-up and ATS teams. But when you have a team that just keeps winning and winning and winning, they're always, I'll use a term again, the point of diminishing return, their value. It's just so tough to get value betting on them. So now, despite their absurd winning streak, they're 1-3, their last 4 against the spread. And as you said, Anthony Davis, he's listed as probable. In my humble opinion, he's probably the third best player in the league, but according to the Hollinger ratings, he's actually the single most valuable player to his team this year. So it's tough to still go against Atlanta, especially on the road. But at this point, I think they finally have reached that point of diminishing return as far as betting on them.
Well, interesting call once again, Joe Duffy. We've given 2 picks each. We'll see how this turns out, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.